because what is perfect to you today will not be tomorrow, because tomorrow you will be different.
How does a person answer why something happens?
When you look at the findings in different fields,
Scant is the part of life in which we live.
To attain the highest values.
The quintessential 1,000 true fans. Like, you only need 1,000 true fans, and so you build them up one by one, brick by brick. I've had so many guests on the show talk about that from perspective of, writing, podcasting, like all of those sort of like more like the more Twitter type creative outlets, right? And you have been sort of like setting the standard of this, that consistent output leads to results in music. And one of the key things I think you wrote about this recently is that you realize that perfection is the enemy, and that actually by doing this you're making at sometimes imperfect creations, artwork, but you're learning all the time, and like you said, and momentum, right? So you're learning, you're building momentum.
Well, it's unavoidable. There is no such thing as perfection, and the very basic of that is what's perfect. And I see people chasing this. Dr. Dre was chasing that Detox album for like 15 years or something. George R.R. Martin's been chasing this follow-up to Dance with Dragons novel for over a decade. People get stuck in this perfection quest, and it's an impossibility, because what is perfect to you today will not be tomorrow, because tomorrow you will be different. So you'll finish your thing tonight and you'll put it to bed and say that's perfect. You'll wake up tomorrow and you're a different fucking chemical makeup. You're a different creature. Maybe only slightly, sometimes more so than others, but you're different. So perfection is impossible. And with regards to the other aspect of that, as you sort of touched on, is, say I sit here and I have this one song and I'm laboring over this one song, like Leonard Cohen did with Hallelujah, which is a masterpiece, but he spent like a decade on Hallelujah. And that's a masterpiece. However, that's not going to work for everybody. And if you sit there just laboring on this one beat, the one song or one chapter or one tweet or one product idea or whatever it is, there's only so much information and potential within that one thing. And you sit there trying to perfect that thing forever, you will only get what is inherent in that one idea in that amount of time, no matter what it is, whether it's a week or 10 years. Whereas if you do a thing, get it to the point that you pretty much get it to, drop it, move on to the next thing, and keep doing that, each new thing will have a whole bunch of new potentiality, wisdom, ideas, lessons, information, experience, and so on within it. So the person who makes and releases 100 songs versus in a year versus the person who labors over one, that one might end up being some kind of a masterpiece, but the person who did 100 is going to have the wisdom, experience, and lessons from doing a fucking 100 tracks. They're inevitably going to be way further ahead in every respect than the other person. The price for that, of course, is imperfection. The price for that is putting out stuff that you're going to look back on and maybe part of you regret. But that's literally fucking everything, because you're different.
Yeah.
You look back on the diaries you wrote as a kid and you cringe. You look back on the tweets you wrote 2 weeks ago and you cringe. Because you're different, you're further along. But what should you have done? Never done those things? If you'd never done those things, you wouldn't be the you now that can look back on and criticize those things. Yeah. So it's just a fucking inevitable, unnecessary side effect of actually doing shit is imperfection.